Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, host of the State of the Saints podcast. Coming up on this edition of the State of the Saints podcast, we discuss edge rusher Chase Young and the Saints going into week 4, and Chase Young is still dealing with an injury. Should we be concerned about Chase Young? Did the Saints may not have been as open as they should have about his injury? We'll talk about that and a lot more. The State of the Saints podcast starts right now.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I got to say is, who dat? Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. Yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Really do appreciate your time on this Friday afternoon. Hope you're having a good one so far. On this edition, we're going to be talking about edge rusher Chase Young and him still dealing with a calf injury. And should Saints fans, should the organization be concerned about the status of Chase Young? But want to give a special shout out to the chat, people that's watching this at home, at work, on the go, wherever you are, wherever you may be. Thank you so much for allowing the State of the Saints podcast to be a part of your listening pleasure. Also, want to give a special shout out to all of those that tuned in on Thursday night for the live watch along over on the State of the NFL podcast channel. Had a good time over there. So it's always good to see some familiar names inside of the chat take part in the live stream action. And if you have not already, I just encourage you to subscribe to the State of the NFL so you don't miss any of the live streams. We live stream all of the primetime games. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you will get those notifications when we do go live. But speaking of, going live, the New Orleans Saints for the last couple of days have had some live practices, but unfortunately, Chase Young has not been a part of them. Chase Young has been dealing with a calf injury since the start of week 1. The week leading into week number 1 versus the Arizona Cardinals, he dealt with a calf injury, and everybody just kind of thought that maybe it was just going to be a one-game thing. The media asked Chase Young about his availability. He said that it's not going to be one of those issues where he's going to miss a significant amount of time. So people just kind of brushed it off, right? The question was asked about Chase Young, and the New Orleans Saints coaches kind of minimized it. Kellen Moore minimized it. It just seemed like, he was just going to be back in a matter of no time. And then all of a sudden, we're like 4 weeks into the season, and Chase Young still has not practiced. And, before I get started and give you my thoughts, just want to go ahead and read a little bit of Chase Young's injury history here. Okay, so he tore his ACL and patella tendon. This was back in 2021. The ACL reconstruction surgery included grafting parts of the patella tendon from his other knee. So that was back in 2021. Then in 2020, I'll go back a little further. He had a mild groin strain that he suffered, and he missed only one game. It was back in week 3 of 2020. He missed a game there. Then he had a stinger. He was dealt with a neck stinger in a preseason game in 2023. Of course, he had the neck surgery. When he signed with the New Orleans Saints, the Saints took a gamble on him, was one of the reasons why other teams decided not to pursue him, but the Saints took a gamble on him. He had the neck surgery. He was able to play all 17 games, didn't miss a game last season, had 5.5 sacks, and now, of course, back where we are right now in 2025, he's dealing with a calf injury. So you're looking at a guy throughout his entire career has dealt with injuries. And last year, he was able to play an entire season. And look, I understand Saints fans are extremely frustrated with Chase Young. And when guys have an injury history, you wonder to yourself, why did the general manager, sign this guy and make that type of commitment? But I think this is one of those cases where Mickey Loomis didn't want to look like a fool. If you look at the New Orleans Saints a few years back, they had an opportunity to re-sign Trey Hendrickson, and they didn't. They had opportunity to re-sign Kaden Ellis, and they didn't. They had opportunity to re-sign Zach Bond, and they didn't. And, of course, Carl Granderson was the recipient of that. The Saints did not want to allow a promising pass rusher to leave out of the door to go to another team and them looking absolutely ridiculous again if that guy gets double-digit sacks and is an impactful player on his new team. So I understand why they decided to go with Chase Young. He has all the athleticism, all the talent. We know that he was a top pick in the draft, back in, I want to say back in 2020. He was the second pick overall. So he has all the talent in the world, but the best ability is availability. The fact that he's not out there helping his football team is very, very alarming. And when we're going into 4 weeks into the season, you have to ask yourself the question, did the New Orleans Saints know how severe this injury was? Because if they did know, why would they kind of pull the wool over the eyes of the media? Why would they kind of pull the wool over the eyes of the Saints fans that just pretty much thought that it was a pretty minor injury and they were just sitting them out for precautionary reasons? This is one of the main reasons why I have an appreciation for coaches like Sean Payton in this regard. I know Sean Payton wasn't as transparent when it comes to the injuries. He basically always would say the injury report is going to come out on Wednesday. But as frustrating as that was for the media to have to deal with all those years, you basically kind of didn't leave anything open for any type of interpretation, right? We're going to see the injury report. We're going to see the guys on the list, and then we'll make our conclusions based on that. But when you come out and you say things like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, oh, it's just little minor touch-up type things, when guys start missing a bunch of games, it's like you don't know what you're doing. It's like you don't know how severe the injury is. And that's when people start to get concerned. So I just wish that maybe they would use different verbiage or maybe not even disclose injuries. I'm okay with that. But when you disclose injuries and make them seem minor, it's just going to tick off a lot of people and frustrate a lot of people. Like I said, at the end of the day, I understand why Mickey Loomis signed Chase Young. I'm not going to talk about, oh, they shouldn't have re-signed him, because he played all 17 games last season and he was making an impact. He wasn't getting home on the sacks constantly, but he was providing pressures. He was a lot of forcing running backs and quarterbacks to go in the opposite direction for other guys to be able to find success getting a quarterback on the ground. And, if this was one of those cases where Chase Young played all 17 games and he was to sign with another team, and let's just say he didn't get hurt and he goes out there and he gets double-digit sacks, then again, that would be an indictment on Mickey Loomis. So Mickey Loomis is trying to make sure that history does not repeat itself. Unfortunately, history is repeating itself when it comes to Chase Young. I think that he'll be back sooner rather than later. I'm hoping maybe in the next couple of weeks, because the New Orleans Saints need Chase Young out there. Now, I'm taking what I heard about Chase Young with a grain of salt. And the reason I'm saying this is because I hear all the time about guys are poised to have a good season. I heard Blake Grupe was poised to have a good season. I heard that Kool-Aid McKinstry was poised to have a good season. And I heard that Chase Young was poised to have a good season. Upon the making of this video, Blake Grupe has missed 3 field goals in 3 weeks. Kool-Aid McKinstry, that Kool-Aid needs sugar in it. You get what I'm saying? So I am going to have that wait and see approach when it comes to Chase Young. But I will say this. He has all the talent in the world to be a really good, solid, double-digit pass rusher. And the New Orleans Saints can use more of those guys out there contributing to the defense. And if he can be that guy that the Saints believe that he is, then that would be great for this football team, and it will provide a spark for this defense. But let me go ahead and read some of your comments. I really do appreciate everybody being here. It could have been anywhere else, so I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and scroll up. Jamal says, TJ, do you think we'll see Chase Young this season? I think you'll see him this season. I think that is promising that we haven't seen him put on IR yet. Now, if he gets put on IR, that's when I'm going to be a little bit concerned. But the fact that they haven't resort to that yet, I think that I think we're going to see him pretty soon. When? I don't know. Watching from the New Orleans Veterans Hospital at work. Whoa, now who that? Well, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you for watching this channel and watching this podcast from your job, man. And everybody at work, on the 9 to 5. I really do appreciate this, man. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for spending y'all lunch break with me. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with your boy. I'm pretty sure you're doing a lot of hard work, but you're chilling with me, and I appreciate that. 4 weeks, man, is over with for him. Trade him out of here. Trev, that ain't happening, man. They not trading this guy. And, I don't think that I don't think the Saints thinking like that at all, And look, I understand the frustration of the Who Dat Nation, but he's the best defensive player that you have on the team when he's upright. And, being in this 3-4 defense with Brandon Staley, I'm pretty sure he was counting on Chase Young to be available to create that impact and creating that pressure up front. And, so I don't think he's going anywhere. I mean, you signed this guy to a 3-year deal. Chase Young's contract entails a $51 million total value with the potential to reach $57 million with incentives. The length is a 3-year deal. He's annually making $17 million. He's guaranteed 33, and he had a $17 million signing bonus. And it came up to a total of $27.1 million that he had as a guaranteed at signing. So that's a lot of money that you're giving to a guy. So the Saints made the commitment, and I don't see that letting up. I also want to thank the fine folks at MyBookie. We'll get into that a little bit later, let you know how you can take part in the action on the MyBookie app. They are the official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast throughout the 2025 season. So I want to thank the fine folks at MyBookie for allowing us to collaborate with them throughout the season. But let's go ahead and get back into the comments. TJ going live with no job. Pagan Chase Young, Mr. Chase Young, Pagan, Pagan. Let's see. Please play this weekend. I don't think he's playing, man. Pagan Chase Young, Mr. Chase Young, Pagan. Please play this weekend. No, he's not playing, man. No, he's not playing this weekend. The fact that, he hasn't practiced at all, I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that he will be out. Let's see. TJ, it said a grade 1 strain could allow you to be out from 2 to 4 weeks. It said grade 2 strain, you can be out from at least some weeks to a month. Well, look, man, you don't want this guy to go out there just to try to appease the fans, and then all of a sudden you aggravate it or make things worse. So, look, I understand that. I understand why they're trying to keep him out. You don't want a guy to go out there and risk injury. So, I mean, even more, so then you're talking about him missing an entire season. So I don't have an issue with that. I want to say trade this dude. I don't see that happening, folks. I just don't. I just don't see them trading him. I think the Saints are looking at this guy as a possible cornerstone player. I mean, he's only, 26 years old. He's young, and that's what they're looking at. So they want him to be a part of this rebuilding process and be one of the pillars of this team. You don't play with a calf strain. Look at all the NBA players with torn Achilles last year. Yep, that's a very serious injury, man. You start messing with that calf, I'm telling you, man. Like next thing you know, you have a torn Achilles and you out for the season, and then you really gonna be mad. Well, he looks like a fool every day, all day. The worst GM ever. If he was with any other franchise, he would be fired. I mean, I think we all agree with that. Look, but I will say that he just does not want history to repeat itself. I mean, he looks absolutely ridiculous every time he allows a guy to walk, and the next thing you know, they're finding prosperity with a new team, and that's a huge indictment on him. That's a huge indictment. Like you look at him letting Trey Hendrickson go for the last 2 seasons. Trey Hendrickson has been one of the top leaders in sacks. He has 17 and a half sacks in back-to-back seasons. I mean, you look at CJ Gardner-Johnson, they traded him. He led the league in interceptions. Zach Bond, they let him go. He became a first-team All-Pro with the Philadelphia Eagles. As of right now, he's one of the captains of the defense. Caden Ellis is one of the pillars of the defense of the Atlanta Falcons. So it's a constant reminder of inept decisions by Mickey Loomis, right? I mean, the one decision you have to say as of right now, and it pains me to say this, but the one decision that he actually got right was possibly trading Marshawn Lattimore. Like that's the only decision I'm looking at that people are like, okay, looking at how Marshawn is playing in Washington, I can kind of understand. So they're giving him some type of grace in that regard. But for the most part, like if you kept Trey Hendrickson, he out there giving you 17 and a half sacks. So you don't have to worry about that issue there. Zach Bond, if you actually probably had him in this type of defense with Brandon Staley, you probably would have seen a version of Zach Bond that Philadelphia is getting from him. So, yeah, it's a lot of missteps, man. And, he's just trying to learn from his mistakes. Saints called me asking if I could play defensive end. We really hit rock bottom. Look, man, I mean, they definitely need some help. They definitely need some help, man. But, I mean, they got some talented guys on the team. I mean, Carl Granderson is talented. Cam Jordan is not what he used to be, but, I mean, he can still get active. Brian Brzee, I still believe in him. And, I think that they have some guys that can rush the passer. It's just a matter of getting these guys going. And also you got some young promising guys as well on the defensive line, so Fidel Diggs, I'm seeing more and more of him being on the field. So the Saints see something in him. So there's some players out there, if they learn and they develop and, they can possibly be some impactful players. So, but we'll see. Strolling down. Eugene says this team has no talent at too many key positions like wide receiver and cornerback. Yeah, Eugene, man, they leave a lot to be desired. They leave a lot to be desired at these positions. And I'm just wondering, once again, are the Saints just tanking and we just don't know about it? Like the fact that they're not willing to go out here, maybe to go after a veteran at certain positions to maybe shore up a certain position group that may be lacking because of the inexperience of said player. Maybe they just looking at it like, man, this, it's not going to make us or break us this year. So maybe we just need to go ahead and kind of bite the bullet, so to speak, and just look forward to 2026 when the cap situation is a little bit better. Probably not going to be the best season. So you're probably going to be having a top 5 pick. I want to say as of right now, according to Tankathon, the Saints have the 2nd pick in the draft. So maybe they're looking at it in that regard. But, they definitely need some talent. They definitely need more talent than what they have at some of these positions. Because we can look around this team and there are a few positions where if these players didn't play for the Saints, I don't think they would even be a starter in the league. Probably not even second string in some cases. TJ, I know it's a little off topic, but on your video on Russ and us bringing him in, is that not the same thing as having Derek Carr here? No, it's not, man. Like, man, Derek Carr and Russell Wilson not even in the same conversation. Like, I know over the last couple of years, Russell Wilson's career hasn't been ideal, but this man is a Super Bowl champion. He was all pro. I think he went to the Pro Bowl like 10 times. Like, this dude has an impeccable resume. Walter Payton Man of the Year. This man has won something, been to the playoffs, and missed me with that stuff about, oh, man, it's just the Legion of Boom and all that kind of stuff. Did the Legion of Boom throw a clutch pass to Tyler Lockett in the back of the end zone in the NFC Championship game versus the Green Bay Packers and come from behind victory in order for Seattle to even be in the Super Bowl? I've seen this dude facilitate so many fourth-quarter comebacks to it's absolutely ridiculous. I just don't like the disrespect, man. I know time goes on and people just tend to forget about the greatness of individuals, especially when they start to slow down. But to me, Russell Wilson and Derek Carr are not even in the same conversation. They're just not. They're just not. So my thoughts and my views, I want to make this very clear, right? Because the only thing people see is I'm saying Russell Wilson needs to come to the Saints. What I said was, if, let's just say, for example, you go to Costco, right? And, they're giving out free samples or something, right? And they be like, oh, you want a free sample? Yeah, man, I'll take a free sample. Why the heck not? Is it hurting me? Am I paying for it? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it really causing me like any type of hardship? Like, it's no harm, no foul. Now, you actually will be paying for the services of Russell Wilson, but at the same time, it's like, if he got released by the Giants, why the heck not? Yeah, even if he was just to be a guy, you know what I'm saying, inside of your locker room, even if he was like one of those players that can just kind of keep things afloat for at least 1 year, like after that, you can send him on his way, especially if you're looking at both of these quarterbacks and you feel like, I don't know, like they can probably win us some games, but not many. But this guy can probably win us more games than Shuck or Rattler can. That's all. That's my whole point. I'm not saying they got to fully commit to this dude for multiple years, anything like that. I'm saying, like, if he was on a street, I would take a fly on him. You know what I'm saying? I will partake, you know what I'm saying, in having him on the roster because of his knowledge, his experience. And I don't buy into these narratives, man. A lot of what we hear about Russell Wilson is the fact that a lot of people just don't like the way this guy operates because he's probably like one of the most, if I can think of a word, probably the most modest person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he loves his family, loves his, loves his wife, like is a Christian guy, wears his faith on his sleeve. And sometimes people don't like that. Right. And I don't know, man. It's like a lot of character assassination. Like, I understand, like, he's not the quarterback that he used to be, but it's like people are just piling on. And it's just, the fact that you have like other teammates like taking shots at him. But if you go back and you just go into the research, a lot of what those thoughts are is because this guy don't want to do the same things y'all want to do on a Saturday night. And I don't know, man. I'm not one of those people that just completely like just eliminate my thoughts and forget that at one time this dude was a really special quarterback. And it wasn't just because they had a really good defense in Seattle. Like, somebody had to be making these throws. Somebody had to be making the plays. And they just weren't running the ball 40 times a game with Marshawn Lynch. Somebody had to push the ball down the field. That's all I'm saying. But at the end of the day, like, if he was to be released or something like that, and you just like, okay, this season just getting out of hand. I don't know if either one of these quarterbacks can give us what we need. They're probably going to give us, these many wins. Russell might be able to give us this. Like, why not? And after the end of the season, you can go about your business, and try to draft somebody or something. And here's the thing. Everybody talking about it's going to be a non-factor and, oh, if he come here, it's not going to be ideal and it's not going to help. Well, if that's the case, then why should it matter to you? If you're saying that Russell Wilson will not make or break this team, why would it matter to you? If the Saints are still going to be a 4 or 5 win team in your eyes, it shouldn't matter if Russell Wilson is on the team. If he's washed, it shouldn't matter if he's on the team, right? It shouldn't matter. because you're already saying that he doesn't have the capability of winning you football games, right? So it shouldn't matter. So that's just another quarterback in a room that people have doubts about. Your connection is slow. Well, I apologize. Am I looking a little blurry? Somebody tell me, am I looking a little blurry, man? Am I looking a little blurry on the screen? I'll stop right here until somebody tell me. Let me know if I'm looking a little blurry, and I'll try to see if I can make some corrections. All right. Okay, connection is good. Okay. And who is that, man? Who got Spectrum? Who is that? Who got Spectrum? Who telling on themselves? Dead on the Wing Sports Podcast. Hey, man, hey, you got Spectrum. Ain't got that Spectrum. I'm just joking, man. I appreciate it, man. Look, I always tell people, man, I got some of the best producers in the business, man. Hundreds of people that file into the chat. Like, I mean, I couldn't thank y'all enough, man, because y'all keep me on my P's and Q's. Y'all let me know about the audio, and I appreciate it, man. I mean, some people got one producer, man. I got many, so I appreciate that, man. Appreciate the love. But yeah, man, look, that's how I feel about Russell Wilson. Like I just think the world sometimes, like, we just so quick to just try to cast people off. I see, you know, and I'll get back to the chat. Once I mention this, it's like when Marvin Harrison Jr. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. has been going through a little bit of a dry spell. He's been dropping passes. It seemed like he hasn't been focused, and everybody, oh, is he a bust? Is he a bust? Now this guy's in his second year in the league. It is like we so quick to try to create narratives about guys. Like, oh, he dropped the pass. He a bust. Whatever happened to people trying to figure things out? Whatever happened to young guys turning into pros? We want a finished product right away. And sometimes, like I said, guys may have bad games and, things happen. But, it just seems like Monday morning quarterback just quick to try to call somebody or label somebody a bust. I want to see, like, man, if I see a young player that's kind of going through the motions and trying to figure things out, I mean, unless they like throwing more picks than Razor Ramon and doing all these different crazy, insane things that just don't make any sense, and I haven't seen like any type of positive attributes about their play, I'm going to give them some time, because I don't think people understand how hard it is to transition from the collegiate ranks to the NFL, where everybody is fast, everybody's strong, everybody for the most part, is disciplined. When you go into college, you might play against Michigan if you're an Ohio State player, but in a couple of weeks, you're going to play against Grambling. You're going to be playing against, I don't know, like one of them mid-major schools, and you're going to be beating the brakes off them when you get 20 yards of separation. Probably going to have 200 yards if you're a receiver. And, you go from that to getting locked up and having to go up against like some of the best cornerbacks, not just like in football, and it just in all of football. Not, you know what I'm saying? Anywhere. They the best at their craft. Like, that's hard to do. But people like a guy drop a pass, or he go through 2 or 3 games, maybe he can go over 100 yards. Is he a bust? Should we be concerned? No, we shouldn't be concerned. Maybe they went up against some really good cornerbacks. I don't know, man. But at the end of the day, that's the way I feel. I'm just shaking my head, TJ. When will this team be productive and at least just for starters get over 500 wins? We talking about the quarterback position, but TJ, can any coach come in and win without playmakers? Absolutely not, Linda. And that's something that we have to pay attention to. And that's one of the main reasons why I'm not judging Kellen Moore based on the talent level of this team. I'm judging Kellen Moore based on the undiscipline of this football team, because those are the things that you can control. Those are the things that you need to be paying attention to, holding guys accountable. And my question is, like, where's the accountability? Like, why was Brian Brzee headsbutt somebody, but he's out there again playing? Like, right. The next defensive series. I was watching the game last night, of course, on a live stream. And There was a play where Kenneth Walker ran down the left sidelines and he was tackled down. The cornerback ended up like kind of tugging on his ankle a little bit. He took exception to that and threw the football at the cornerback, and he got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And that entire drive, he sat on the bench. Zach Charbonnet ran that ball that entire drive. That's how he was able to get the touchdown. And, in the game, he scored their second touchdown of the night, Seattle. So all I'm saying is, like, Kenneth Walker is the star running back of the Seattle Seahawks. And that shows you that nobody is beyond reproach. Like, you can need a player all day and night. He may be the best player that you have, but there's a accountability level that you need to have. You got to be able to stand on business and let guys know that you're not just hurting yourself by possibly getting disqualified, but you're also hurting the team, because that was an automatic first down. You probably would have had Jason Myers come out there and kick a field goal to put them up 3-0 versus actually sustaining a drive for them to be able to score a touchdown with Jackson Smith and Jigba. That is selfish. And you have to show players, if they're being selfish, how it hurts the team, and you got to hurt them by having them sit there behind on the bench. That is accountability. That is what I'm judging Kellen Moore on. It's not so much about the talent. We know where the Saints are when it comes to talent. But accountability, you can control that. So that's where I'm at with Kellen Moore. You got to hold your players accountable. Jerry said, no show young. TJ, get another song ready on Chase Young. I'm gonna give him some grace, Jerry, because I mean he played all 17 games last season, and from what I heard, man, he was basically going full throttle in practice, and at the time, man, he was looking pretty unstoppable. So, and he ended up like just tweaking his calf, so he wasn't phoning it in like that. That's why I want, I'm trying to give him some grace here. Like, people were talking about how hard he was practicing, how hard he was going at some of these scrimmages. So, and how he got hurt was him going hard in the paint. When you're drafting before Neighbors and Brian Thomas, and they are playing as well as they are, and you're struggling, then people are going to start to worry about your performance. They may worry about your performance, but it's still premature. Like, you're not going to be everything. Everybody's not going to be everything. And I just think that some people, we look at outliers. I always talk about like quarterbacks like Jaden Daniels, right? Jaden Daniels is an outlier. CJ Stroud, his rookie season, that was an outlier. Cam Newton, rookie season, outlier. RG3, outlier. What we do is we compare other players to what we've seen before. And it's like, oh, if you don't look like that, then you have no saving grace. Like, guys develop differently. And then also players go to different situations that may benefit them more so than others sometimes. Like, you might go to a team and that coordinator is not putting you in the best position to succeed. And you also have to keep in mind that if you're getting picked in the top 10, you're probably going into a new regime where you probably got a new GM, new coach, like all these different, things going on. And the coach trying to figure it out, organization trying to figure it out. All the while they're trying to figure out what's best for you. So sometimes guys might hit the ground running, but that doesn't mean that this guy hit the ground running, this guy doesn't mean in year 2, in year 3, like this guy isn't going to be everything that you want him to be. I mean, there's several different cases where a guy may start it off pretty doggone slow, and then all of a sudden, as the years go by, they start to kind of get into the groove, and all of a sudden they become a better player. I just think to me, that's lazy. Like, because I just think that a lot of people want to be first when it comes to certain things. Like, they just want to be first. So if a guy has a bad game, I'm gonna just call him a bust, right? I'll give you an example. I'll give you another example. So let's look at Jamar Chase. So Jamar Chase in his rookie season, Jamar Chase came into the NFL Everybody was talking about him in the offseason, him dropping passes in practice. Everybody, oh, should we be concerned about Jamar Chase? Oh, the college footballs are different from the NFL footballs. He's not going to be able to catch it. As of right now, Jamar Chase is a Triple Crown winner, had 1,700 yards last season, over 100 catches. So all I'm saying is, like, if everybody would have just ran with that narrative. They didn't even give this guy an opportunity to go ahead and figure it out. He can't catch. That was the narrative going around. How is that narrative working today? All I'm saying is we got to be patient with some players. Some guys are going to hit the ground running, and we're going to see something special. And then the next thing you know, like they might end up being everything that you want them to be. Michael Thomas wasn't like that. Michael Thomas in the first couple games of the season, like everybody remember that Denver Bronco game we had like 3 fumbles? It wasn't until that game in his rookie season versus San Francisco 49ers when Drew Brees threw him that pass in the back of the end zone, and the announcer said after he caught that, I think Michael Thomas has arrived. And that's when everybody started to see, man, this can be the start of something special. And that's when he went on that warpath for about 3 or 4 years. But if everybody was just looking at him fumbling, getting with them 3 fumbles in that game, or he could have had 3 touchdowns against the Jets, but he couldn't get 2 feet in bounds. If we would have just judged him based on that, oh man, he can't get 2 feet in bounds. Oh man, he fumbling a football. Would we have had one of the best wide receiver performances by any New Orleans Saint wide receiver in history? Like that span, that 3-4 year span by Michael Thomas was incredible. So that's why I'm saying some guys are going to hit the ground running quick. Some guys aren't. But we got to be able to have the patience to be able to see these guys through. The unfortunate thing about today's game is that no one has patience. A lot of greats had to develop into that. Prime example, Breeze, Manning, even Trey Hendrickson took time. Yeah, I mean, look, it takes time. I think, Eric, people want to finish product, and I understand. Like, when you draft a player, like, I'm not going to sit up here and say that, there isn't validity behind how people feel, because we all tune into the NFL draft. We all tune into the NFL draft, Trizzy, and we sit there with anticipation for our team to draft someone and to fill a void that is missing from the team. And we want to see this guy hit the ground running right away. Like Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck was drafted in the 2nd round. We know the narrative. I don't need to keep on telling y'all the same thing. Y'all already know. Highest draft pick by the Saints, drafting a quarterback since 1971 with Archie Manning. Y'all know. Everybody wanted him to be that starting quarterback. The fact that he's sitting on a bench and Spencer Rattler is playing, it makes people look like, well, he probably never going to be good enough. But maybe he's just not good enough right now. But once upon a time, growing up, teams would draft quarterbacks, and you wouldn't see that quarterback for like 2 or 3 years. What happened with the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love is unprecedented in modern day NFL. What happened with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre is unprecedented in modern day NFL. If you drafted a quarterback in the 1st round, top 10 pick, it's only a matter of time before they're starting. No matter who the quarterback is. Like, because everybody's going to be clamoring for that player. But back in the day, man, guys would sit on a bench and learn to become pros. I don't think it's a coincidence that Jordan Love, when he became the full-time starter, he was able to hit the ground running. He sat on a bench like 2 or 3 years. He would only come in a game during garbage time. Or like when Green Bay have something sold up and he's out there playing in the last game of the season. I mean, guys have to figure it out. We want these players to be great right away. And that's understandable. Like I said, man, we want results. Miss me with the nonsense about, I want my team to try hard. Like, we come to grips with that. But that's if we were put on a polygraph test, that is not what we want. We don't want the Saints just to try hard. We don't want to just see effort. Like we've basically systematically programmed our mind to feel that way. But everybody wants this team to exceed expectations. Every team, whoever you root for, you want them to exceed expectations. But sometimes, like I always say and have been saying throughout the season, it's a marathon and not a sprint. And sometimes guys hit the ground running. They shoot off like Usain Bolt. But then some guys slow and steady. But eventually they're going to get to that finish line. Sometimes we don't like the slow and steady pace, right? We want to see that guy take off. We want the Usain Bolt approach. But sometimes guys aren't like that. But that's not an indictment on them. You know, so I don't like the rush to judgment approach sometimes. Like, because sometimes, you know, I just think that guys just develop differently. But I do want to thank the fine folks once again at MyBookie. This show is brought to you by MyBookie. You can download the MyBookie app and place your bets today. There is a $500 opt-in bonus, right? So if you were to bet up to $500, if you select the opt-in bonus, you will be able to get those $500 back, a chance to get your money back. No harm, no foul. You can place a bet on, I don't know, the Saints game this weekend versus the Buffalo Bills. The Saints are a 16.5-point underdog going into the game against the Buffalo Bills. You feeling kind of risque, feel like the Saints are going to cover? Place your bet. If you feel like it's going to be one of those bloodbaths, you can place your bet also. Okay, so make sure that you do that. You can use the promo code SAINTS. All right, take a part of the deal. Use the promo code SAINTS. And once again, thank the fine folks at MyBookie. Debo says, who was smoking some good gas thinking to make Kendre Miller on returns? That boy is horrible on him. Not the best, but not the worst either. I mean, I don't know why is Village Jones not back there returning punts or kickoffs? I mean, I understand why the Saints aren't using Rashid Shaheed. They want him to be an integral part of the offense, and you don't want to see him getting injured running back a kick. And the Saints utilized Rashid Shaheed the way that I thought they should have. Like, they only put him back there like in certain situations where maybe they need to flip the field or need to provide a spark. They'll put him back there. But I agree. I don't understand why Kendre Miller is back there. It's probably because they just want to get him going or doing something, but he's not a kick returner. He's not a guy that is known for his elusivity, right? He's a guy that's more like a one cut back, you know, has really good balance and yeah, really strong guy. But at the end of the day, like a kick returner, he is not. He is not. But yeah, I mean, he had some solid returns preseason. He had one, I want to say, against the Cardinals, a pretty decent run, but I agree. I wouldn't put him back there. Typically, if you're drafting a quarterback that high, he needs to start because your team isn't good. Yeah, but also you got to be careful with that motivated because you could affect his confidence also in the process if you don't have the right pieces around him. That's why a lot of teams, what they do is they'll get that bridge guy. Like if you remember with the New England Patriots, they had Jacoby Brissett as their starter for the first couple of weeks before, you know, and then Drake May kind of got acclimated and then they put him out there. Like, I mean, the worst thing that you can do is put a guy in a tough situation and it affects his confidence. Because here's the thing, motivated and sports fans. A lot of fans watch the football. They don't watch the full game. You know, and this is not a knock on people. I just want to make this very clear. This is not a knock. Some people don't like watch the ball like that. All they see is ball snap, ball thrown, incomplete. Ball snap, ball thrown, he caught it, right? They're not looking at like what's going on, like what led to him not being able to complete that pass. Maybe the offensive line wasn't holding up and that guy gets up the middle. He has to throw the ball more quickly than he has to. And in the process, here comes the Monday morning quarterback. Here comes the post-game show. Oh, this guy sucked. I can't believe we gave up a such and such and a such and such for him. And there goes the white noise, right? Oh man, we wasted a draft pick. Oh man, this dude should have never been here. And then all of a sudden, people start buying into that narrative. And the next thing you know, the boo bird's out. And now you have a guy who has been judged prematurely, confidence already shot because he's not on a team that's good enough or put him in the best position to succeed. And people aren't understanding that. So, I mean, in some cases, yes, start a quarterback, right? If you got some veterans on your football team, if you got some guys that are out there, like they can, help the young man out, offensive line, wide receiver, tight end, yeah, put them out there. But if it's like one of those situations where it's like a real tough situation for a guy, like it's okay to get a bridge quarterback. It's okay to do that. But I get what you're saying at the end of the day. But, some teams, they don't want to put a guy out there and have his confidence eroded because the team around him is not good enough to help him to be able to reach his full potential. And like I said, in this world that we live in today, in a world of overreaction, where everybody just looking for the word bust, you're a bust. No, he'll bust. Why would you want to put him in that type of situation? And, some people say, oh, man, well, he shouldn't worry about that. Look, bro, you can have the patience of Job. You can have peace in your life. You can have the best situation possible. Social media will affect you. And this is the world that we live in. You got some guys that don't be on social media like that, but the majority of individuals are, and they see what people are saying about them. They see these type of things, and it could affect you. It affects you psychologically, man. Like when people say certain things, it could affect you psychologically. Like, just imagine, like, okay, you might say something, maybe 2 or 3 people might say something about a comment that you made, but just imagine thousands of people, like that's tough. So you might end up messing up a guy's confidence, before it even starts to develop. Who That record says TJ going to rename this the state of the Spencer Rattler. You tried to use that joke yesterday, bro, and it didn't hit. And then on top of that, I may have mentioned Spencer Rattler on this episode. How many times I mentioned Spencer Rattler on this episode? Probably the first time I mentioned him. So, yeah, I know you tried to do it at the end of the show, bro, but the joke wasn't hitting, bro. Try again. Can't even talk trash on the NFC South show. Come on, TJ, man. We look bad out here. Nah, I'm still talking trash. Like y'all see me still talking trash. I'm still talking trash. Shoot. I am not, what I'm saying? Like, I'm still gonna be talking trash. Let's see. It did hit you in your feelings, bruh. Let me tell you something, dude. You're watching my show, all right? So at the end of the day, how did it hit me in my feelings? You only matter if I click on your name. If I don't click on your name, nobody knows who the hell you are, dude, at the end of the day. So I'm on Bleacher Report, dude. I got credentials by the NFL. I talk to people that you will probably never see in your life. So why in the world would you hit me in my feelings? Every time I speak, dude, I get paid. What do you do besides sit up in there in the chat and try to hope that I click on your name? I'll show you the type of power I have. If I wanted to delete you and never see you again, I can do that. So why in the world should I worry or care about what you say? All I said was I seen a comment at the end of the show, and you tried to get it off because I guess you were trying to get a rise out of me or something. But trust and believe, dude. Like, if you want me to, ignore you, I can. If you want to, if you want me to ignore you, I can. But it seemed like to me, bro, like I don't know, man. I don't know. And I mean, I'm not trying to hang around any show that if I have a problem with it. But like I said, dude, you're watching me. I started off in my apartment closet on an iPhone, and now I'm going to the NFL Combine. Where you going? Besides to your laptop to watch me. Remember that, dude. But like I said, if you want me to continue to read your comments, I can. But if you just doing this to try to get a rise out of me, trust and believe, bro, you will never be heard from again. Who Dat Records would not be taking over for the 9-9 in the 2000s. Nah, you're not speaking facts, dude. You're a hater. There's nowhere in the world that anybody will sit up here and just say that I just sit up here and just talk about Spencer Rattler all day. And honestly, and I don't like critique this dude fairly. Me saying that to give this guy a chance because last year they didn't have anybody around him. And this year it seems like, people are like giving this guy a hard time. And all of a sudden, like this because I don't want to sit up here and call this guy a bust or call him bad or call him terrible. I mean, I don't know what you want, dude. But I tell you what, man, you can do just what I did. You can do exactly what I did. You can get yourself some audio equipment. You can start your own podcast. And hopefully, maybe you'll have the commitment to be able to grow a channel like this and be able to count on reliable Saints fans like I have, and maybe you'll be able to get some of the opportunities that I have. I'm not going to always agree. I don't have to. You don't have to always agree with me, but it just seems like to me, like when you say stuff like that, man, I don't roll with it. Anybody, I got 1,800 episodes that show that I'm pretty even killed. I ain't afraid to go at anybody. I've lost people and unsubscribed to the channel because I took shots at Drew Brees because of bad performances. So that stuff, like I said, at the end of the day, it don't bother me, man. I try to read everybody's comment despite if I agree with them or not. But if you don't want me to read your comments no more, man, I don't have to. Can we point out the disappointment Ruiz has been for the past few years? That's the real crime. Yeah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. I mean, Cesar Ruiz, bro, that ain't it, bro. That ain't it. That ain't it, man. That ain't it. They need some better play from the offensive line group, man. And they definitely need better play from him. He's a first round pick, but I don't think anything is going to change. I don't think anything is going to change at all. Right. I just think that what you see is what you get from him. I'm going to take a few more and then I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, man. Got to pick my boy up. Says our team is full of people that are new at what they're doing and it shows, but it should have been expected. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't have an issue with that. Back to what I was saying. It's the undisciplined play is what I have an issue with. Let's see, hit the like button. Can we change the same name to HMO? Oh, man. Yeah, they need to, man. Need to do something. Coach Moore is the manager everyone likes but doesn't respect. I mean, you gotta give them reasons to respect you, man. TJ, what's your suggestion on the first 3 picks for the 2026 draft? How would you draft TJ knowing what you know about the Saints at this point? Then the Saints need somebody that's going to be able to provide a spark, whether it's offensively or defensively. I will probably go after Baines Jr. From Miami. If there's a quarterback out there, if you evaluate your quarterbacks this year and none of them are giving you what you need, I would probably go there. I mean, there's just so many, like wide receiver. But if you pick like a quarterback in the first round or a really dominant like type pass rushing from the collegiate ranks, you can get yourself a really good wide receiver in the second round too, because you're still picking pretty early. So Caesar looks so damn confused out there. 5 years and 2, by the way. I think, like I said, it's what you see is what you get, man. Big Glenn says, talk that talk, TJ. Man, ain't nobody can kill my vibe, man. Like, seriously. like I said, I'm not even angry about the situation. Man, I'm just so blessed as a person. Like I get opportunity to talk to so many amazing people that have been on this ride with me. You have some people that have been here from the beginning, came midway, probably found me a couple of days ago, and I'm appreciative of that. But I'm blessed, man. Look, the fact that once again, I started in my apartment closet on my iPhone 10 because I couldn't afford a webcam. And I go from that to being able to have some of these opportunities. Like nobody can kill my joy, man, at all. Like, and it's beyond like agreeing or disagreeing with somebody, you know. But it's just like when you try to like do things to try to, I guess, like try to rattle or try to affect like me psychologically or mentally, you can't do it, bro. Because I'm blessed and highly favored, man. I'm covered in the blood. You feel me? So, you know, that just shows you that I'm doing something that's right. You know, and like I said, if you can agree with me, disagree with me, I'm okay. That's what makes us great people. Like, shouts out to Motivated. Like, Motivated is very opinionated. You know, he believes in what he's saying, and I respect the hell out of it. You know, we don't always see eye to eye, but he always comes through and he always shows respect. I don't agree with you, TJ, and that's cool. You know, that's cool. Like, I don't have an issue with that. I don't want an amen corner. But, you know, like I said, man, I'm blessed to be here. And I'm going to read this last one. It says, I'm tired of talk about New Year draft as long as Mickey Loomis in the draft war room is all going to suck. Yeah, man, I'm over the Mickey Loomis experience. I just hope that whatever happens, we get a notification and say Mickey Loomis decided to step down and the Saints are in pursuit for a new general manager. But even with that, I'm still concerned because more than likely Mickey Loomis is going to be a part of that process, and he's probably going to try to find another him. So good luck with all that, man. All right, but at the end of the day, look, Chase Young is injured. Hopefully he can get back sooner rather than later. Motivated. I can't take calls right now, and I'm not just trying to avoid it. I really have to go ahead and go out to pick my son up from school. But I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Next time I go live will probably be the post game after the Saints Buffalo Bills game. I will open up the phone lines then, man, because I want to hear what people have to say. I'll make sure I give people the time to be able to talk. I know during the week I'm just trying to get a show in, but I want to say I appreciate you all, no matter where you are, wherever you may be. Please follow me on X at TJAYJones8. Also, you can check me out on NFC South Roundtable. Subscribe to the State of the NFL podcast. Those are the podcasts that that I am on outside of the State of the Saints. Roundtable, talking about the NFC South. State of the NFL, we're talking about some of the hottest topics in all of the National Football League. Till next time, all I gotta say is, who dat?